Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Tales from a Retro Gamer. It's been a really fun day. Saw Sonic the Hedgehog. Really fun movie, surprisingly fun movie. It's been getting good reviews, but I really enjoyed it. And when I first heard about this movie, I didn't think I was going to really like it. I mean, what was it going to be about? Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, how could they expand this? What would it be? I had no idea. But anyway, it was a really fun movie, and in just a second, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you should go see this movie. But real quick, this is Tales from a Retro Gamer, so I'm going to give you real quick just a little bit of my background with Sonic the Hedgehog, the game, the excellent Sega Genesis game. So the Genesis came out in the US in 1989. During that time, I was working at Lone Star Comics, and a lot of customers and my coworkers were really into video games. And when the Genesis come out, several of my friends that were the customers there and that worked there got the Genesis. And I remember in particular, at the time when the Genesis first came out, Altered Beast was the pack-in title with the system. And everybody was bragging on this game. It had really cool graphics, so much better than anything on the NES. It was kind of demonic, kind of mature looking. You could transform into this powerful beast. It was just much different than anything on the NES, graphically, sonically, so to speak. It was a really great game, and everybody was talking about this game. I hadn't played it at the arcades, but people were just really touting the Genesis based on Altered Beast, because so many people, when they get a console, sometimes the only game they have for a while is the pack-in title, and that was really touted up. I didn't get a Genesis right away. I was still playing my NES, my Atari 2600, and my ColecoVision, and so I didn't rush out to get a Genesis right away. As you guys may know, I'm kind of a late adopter sometimes, and I wait for the first price break. But in 1991, when Sonic the Hedgehog came out, and I saw the ads for it, just what a fast, colorful, cool-looking game it was, and how it was kind of an edgy platformer, kind of a little more, I don't know, a little more modern and a little more edgy and a little more cool than the Mario titles. It really appealed to me, so I had to get a Genesis. Sonic the Hedgehog, the game, is the reason why I went out and bought a Sega Genesis. So I really love Sonic the Hedgehog. I love Sonic the Hedgehog 2, probably even better. I had a great time playing that game with my niece when she was little. Had a fantastic time with that. I didn't like Sonic 3 as much, but it's still a good game. And I just love the whole Sonic the Hedgehog series. And so obviously, even though I didn't really think much of this movie a few months ago when it was being advertised, I thought, well, that'll just be kiddie or stupid, and I'm still scarred from seeing Super Mario Brothers in 1993, so I had no idea what this was going to be like, but I ended up really liking it. And real quick, with Sonic the Hedgehog, the video game, I actually started at one point in 1991, I was playing Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario World, and I actually liked Sonic the Hedgehog a little better because it was faster and cooler and all that. Both great games. Anyway, let's get to Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. Really cool. Now, a few months ago, when they were doing the advertising, Sonic looked pretty bad at first, and then they did the redesign where he had bigger eyes, fewer teeth, and he looked more like, the Sonic the Hedgehog we know and love. He just looked cooler, he looked better, and but even when they did the redesign, I wasn't excited about the movie. I was just a little curious, but I still didn't think much of it. In the movie, small-town police officer Tom Wachowski, played by James Marsden, who you may remember as Cyclops in the X-Men movies, he discovers a blue, fast hedgehog, and he must help it defeat an evil government scientist named Dr. Robotnik, played with relish by Jim Carrey. And Robotnik wants to do experiments on the hedgehog, and Ben Schwartz, who you guys know from Parks and Rec, voices Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, so let's get to the 10 reasons why you must go see Sonic the Hedgehog, 10 reasons why I really enjoyed it. Number 10, Ben Schwartz, who plays Jean-Ralphio in Parks and Recreation, does an excellent job voice acting Sonic the Hedgehog. He's super energetic, he's peppy, he just does a great job, he's funny, he's... Now, some people might find his character on Parks and Rec kind of a little annoying, but he's not annoying in the least here. He's absolutely into the role. You can tell he's having a lot of fun doing it, and he just brings tons of energy and excitement. Number 9, James Marsden. He's really into the role, unlike... Now, with movies like this that are kind of silly or based on like a comic book or a video game character, the actors, sometimes they're just collecting a check. You can tell James Marsden was having a lot of fun. Unlike maybe, say, Alicia Silverstone in Batman and Robin, how she's obviously just kind of walking through it. She looks pretty bored. Not so here with James Marsden, having a blast. And Jim Carrey as Robotnik, perfect casting, and he sort of dipped into his 90s manic craziness, like from The Mask and Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. He doesn't quite reach those heights with just the sheer insanity, but he's perfect for the role and he does a great job. He brings a lot of fun to the movie, and he is maniacal throughout and just a lot of fun. Excellent casting. Jim Carrey, now it's great when actors like Jim Carrey and Bill Murray and Adam Sandler, when they grow up, they get tired of doing this crazy comedy and they do serious roles and dramas, and that's all well and good, but it's always great when they go back to their roots of just being crazy funny characters, which Jim Carrey was in Sonic the Hedgehog. So great casting. Number 8, fan service. Now, with some serious movies, if there's too much fan service throughout, it can be distracting, it pulls you out of the plot. But with just a silly cartoon movie, just a crazy movie like Sonic the Hedgehog, give me more fan service. Now this movie, most of the fan service was at the beginning of the film and at the very end, and wow, what an ending it was. Throughout the movie, it veers way away from the Sonic the Hedgehog storyline from the video games. It plays more like just sort of a regular, maybe superhero movie or something. So you get away from the basic Sonic storylines, but it's interesting that respect, because you really don't know what's going to happen exactly. But there is a lot of fan service at the beginning and at the end. I wish they would have sprinkled a little more throughout, but you're going to get video game references, and the ending is just awesome. So definitely stay through the credits and after the credits. Number 7, Speed. Big fan of fast heroes. Not Quicksilver so much, but the Flash in particular. I've been a huge Flash fan for decades. That's one reason I like Sonic the Hedgehog, the character, and the movie. In the film, he looks fantastic running fast. The effects are really nice, which brings us to number 6. The special effects were awesome. You can tell the movie had a budget. It wasn't just a cheap throwaway movie to cash in on a popular title or a popular character. The movie, just casting Jim Carrey alone will tell you that they put some money in the movie. But when you see it, the effects are really, really good for the type of movie it is. And so that was nice. So number 6, special effects. Number 5, I'm once again referring to Speed. The movie was fast-paced, as you would expect a movie like this to be. Just a fun popcorn movie. It's good to keep it moving, and it did. Now, one part where it sort of slowed down, and not my favorite part of the movie, was the bar scene. Now, this is going to be a spoiler-free, review and everything, but the bar scene, now, early in the movie, Sonic is trying to stay hidden. He doesn't want to be outed, as this alien. He doesn't want to be experimented on. He's kind of scared, and he keeps moving fast so people won't see him. But for some reason, through the movie, there's this bar scene where he's there and he slows down, and him and his police officer buddy are in the bar, and they're dancing and acting silly, and it's a little bit of padding, because people can just see him, and they don't overreact, and it's just kind of a weird moment. It is there are funny moments, but it feels like a little padding. But other than that, the film feels pretty nicely paced, and it moves along at a good pace, as it should. Number 4, humor. There are jokes throughout the movie. It's never too serious, but it never gets so silly that you're just rolling your eyes. It's funny. It's the whole family can enjoy it. It's got humor, but it never gets too dark. Now there's a little bit of stuff here and there, as you might expect, slight PG stuff, but nothing to worry about. Definitely take your kids to see it. It's a lot of fun. Never gets too scary or too crude or anything. A lot of fun. Very funny movie. That's number 4. So number 3, DC Comics. Now, of course, with Sonic the Hedgehog being a Speedy character, there are going to be Speedy references throughout. Like, there's this really funny scene early in the movie where he's holding a turtle and he's running really fast, and the turtle's shaking afterwards, and that's really funny. And now, I looked a little too much into this movie, perhaps. There is a scene where Sonic the Hedgehog is reading Flash comics. There's a couple of references to that, of course. That's going to happen. That wasn't a big surprise. But his nickname in the movie by, the town, this crazy guy in the town that keeps thinking he sees him, is Blue Devil. Now, is that or is that not a reference to the Blue Devil hero in DC Comics? My son doesn't seem to think so, but I think maybe it is. And there's one area where I really look into it, maybe a little too closely, reading more into it than is actually there as far as fan service goes. Early in the movie, like I said, is the turtle. And the Flash's first villain in the Silver Age comics, I believe, or at least one of his earliest characters, or one of his earliest villains, was the turtle. Yeah, probably looking a little too much into that. But anyway, regardless, it's still a fun movie, and I love the Flash references throughout, being a big fan of the character. So the Flash and Speed and all that, great part of the movie. Number 2, like I mentioned before, you definitely want to stay to the end. It is awesome. 16-bit graphics through the credits are just cool, sort of retelling the story and everything. You definitely need to see that. And holy cow, that very ending after the credits, just awesome. I actually clapped at that point. And the number one reason to go see Sonic the Hedgehog is because of what it's not. It is not the 1993 abomination Super Mario Brothers. It is so much better, so much more coherent, so much more fun, and actually has a pretty decent storyline. It's a little bit about friendship. Sonic feels lonely early in the movie and has a bucket list of things he wants to do, and he makes a really good friend in the film. So there's actually a point to it. There's a little bit of heart to it, unlike the crap that was Super Mario Brothers the movie, which I made the mistake in 1993. I was dating my Crease, who is now my wife. We took my niece and nephew to go see Super Mario Brothers, and the best part of that day was getting ice cream sundaes afterwards. So I'll leave it at that. Super Mario Brothers episode for another day. So anyway, that is the number one reason to see Sonic the Hedgehog, because it's really good, unlike Super Mario Brothers. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to my top 10 reasons to go see Sonic the Hedgehog. In the comments below, tell me what you thought about Sonic the Hedgehog. Maybe what was your favorite scene in the movie? What is your number one reason for seeing Sonic the Hedgehog? What was your favorite thing about the movie? All right, guys, last week I did a Donkey Kong episode where I sort of showed off my Donkey Kong collection and asked you guys, what was your favorite thing in your Donkey Kong collection? Kyle the Collector, the aptly named Kyle the Collector, said, I got Walter Day to sign my copy of King of Kong at Mo Gamecom 2019. I loved DKC games for the SNES. I would play them with my brother. The graphics looked great. New Super Mario Land on SNES has similar graphics. I like how DK for Game Boy let you pick up items like Super Mario Brothers 2. That DK Jenga is cool. I also bought that same shirt, referring to my Donkey Kong shirt I wore in the video, from a Five Below store. Great topic and video. All right, thanks, Kyle. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now, guys, many of you may not know, I do have a Patreon account. You can support me for as little as $1 a month. If you like the videos I do, if you like the articles and books I write, go to www.patreon.com/BRETTWEISS. And like I said, for as little as $1 a month, you can support my channel, you can support my writing, and you get perks. You get digital books, you get articles, you get behind the scenes stuff, behind the scenes photos, all kinds of stuff. So if you could check that out, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out. But I didn't get a Genesis yet. I was still playing my NES, my ColecoVision, and my Atari 26.
I'm sorry.